It's the legal plot twist absolutely no one saw coming, not the lawyers, not Hollywood, and certainly not Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds. When the power couple, known as much for their blockbuster charisma as their razor-sharp PR strategy, decided to drag a small-time YouTuber into their spiraling courtroom drama, they likely expected compliance, fear, maybe even silence. But instead what they got was the internet's most unexpected masterclass in comedic retaliation. In a move that now has millions laughing and legal analysts scratching their heads, this previously obscure content creator didn't just respond to the subpoena, they dismantled it in public view with wit, receipts, and zero fear. Their response video, now going viral across multiple platforms, didn't just clap back. It exposed the staggering gap between Hollywood's power games and the digital age's defiant creators, and now Ryan and Blake's once tight grip on narrative control is slipping through their fingers. From the moment the subpoena landed to the mic drop moment that ended the creator's video, this whole saga has morphed into something much bigger than just a defamation case. It's a battle for truth, independence, and the right to speak without being steamrolled by celebrity status. And make no mistake, the world is watching. So buckle up, because we're diving deep into every twist, laugh, and lesson from the moment Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds got outsmarted hilariously and publicly by a YouTuber they underestimated. When the entertainment world heard whispers of subpoenas being sent to online commentators, it felt like the next predictable chapter in a long, ugly Hollywood feud. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, already embroiled in a high-stakes legal war involving director Justin Baldoni, had reportedly begun casting their legal net wider. But what no one anticipated was that they'd target content creators with relatively small platforms, including one YouTuber who barely had 1,000 subscribers at the time. The legal document arrived in the form of an official subpoena, requesting the creator to produce content, commentary, transcripts, private emails, and any communication related to or referencing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their ongoing legal dispute. The community was stunned. Content creators, especially those focused on celebrity commentary, began to whisper nervously about precedent, censorship, and overreach. But the YouTuber in question didn't go silent. In fact, their response would go on to set a new standard for how digital creators could defend themselves, not just legally but publicly. Their video, simply titled "So I Got Subpoenaed" by Blake Lively, begins with a casual deadpan intro. Well, this is awkward. The opening lines alone drew thousands of comments from shocked viewers. It wasn't just the idea that a global superstar had legally targeted someone with limited reach, it was the tone of it all. David was laughing in the face of Goliath. Instead of panicking, the creator walked their viewers through the subpoena, live on screen, reading portions aloud with a comedic twist, pausing to sip coffee, and occasionally adding sharp but lawful commentary. "They want my DMs, I barely answer texts," they quipped. "They want my video drafts, girl, half of them are just me ranting about movie trailers and drinking ginger tea." The comments exploded. Viewers called it one of the most brilliant, unbothered responses ever seen to celebrity pressure. Others called the creator a legend for fighting lawfare with laughter. But beneath the laughs, there was something more serious happening. The YouTuber pointed out with striking clarity how subpoenas like these, though legal, can be intimidating, time-consuming, and financially draining for creators without legal teams. They raised important questions. Was this about justice or intimidation, truth or narrative control? By publishing the subpoena with private information redacted and narrating their thought process, the creator flipped the power structure on its head. The audience wasn't watching a victim. They were watching someone turn a legal weapon into viral content, and in doing so sparking a much bigger conversation. Legal experts soon began weighing in online. A retired entertainment attorney commented on Twitter, "It's rare to see someone with no legal background handle a subpoena this gracefully and transparently. Frankly, it's a masterclass in composure." Public sentiment shifted quickly. While Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively had typically enjoyed near-universal public affection, their decision to subpoena a small, humorous YouTube creator was seen as an overstep, even a PR miscalculation. Social media threads lit up with criticism. "Why are two multimillionaires going after creators with iPhones?" And opinions read one top comment on Reddit. The backlash even inspired other creators, some with millions of followers, to speak up. "This could happen to any of us," one large TikTok voice said. Imagine making a meme and getting a legal document from Deadpool. But as always, in today's media landscape, nothing spreads faster than humor and defiance. And this YouTuber had both in spades. In their follow-up video, simply titled "Blake and Ryan's Lawyers, This One's For You," the creator parodied a legal drama intro complete with fake courtroom music and green screen judge robes. "I now call this court to order," they said, sipping from a mug that read "Subpoena this." Within hours, it was trending. What started as a potentially silencing tactic had now become a viral moment, and not in the way Blake or Ryan intended. As the YouTuber's hilarious subpoena response exploded across the internet, something almost unprecedented began to happen. Instead of being painted as reckless or irrelevant, this small content creator was suddenly being embraced by the broader creator economy and even by mainstream legal commentators, who were closely watching the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni trial unfold. One viral tweet now with over 3 million views read: Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds just accidentally created the biggest free speech icon of the year by trying to silence someone with less than 2,000 subs. Wild commentators across YouTube, TikTok, and even long-form podcasts began analyzing not just the content of the subpoena, but the broader implications. Was this a genuine attempt to gather evidence, or was this the classic Hollywood maneuver of applying pressure to control media narratives? As that debate intensified, support for the YouTuber surged. Viewers flooded their channel with new subscriptions, many writing messages like, "I came for the subpoena drama, but I stayed for your energy. Blake may have just made you the most relatable person on YouTube right now. This is the funniest thing I've seen all year." And also kinda terrifying, even more telling, prominent civil liberties voices began to weigh in. A spokesperson from a well-known digital rights nonprofit tweeted, "Creators are the modern media, using legal pressure to silence or intimidate small creators, especially without clear cause, is a very slippery slope." Suddenly, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds weren't just seen as glamorous powerhouses. They were being cast in an unfamiliar and uncomfortable role, the aggressors, in a fight against someone just trying to speak freely online. And that shift began to erode their carefully cultivated image. The PR slip begins. Until now, Blake and Ryan had largely been untouchable in the eyes of the public. With their cheeky couple banter, playful social media posts, and sparkling red carpet appearances, they were considered Hollywood's golden couple. But the lawsuit against Justin Baldoni had already cracked that image, and this subpoena scandal was widening it fast. Entertainment journalists began asking tougher questions. If Ryan Reynolds is such a champion of independent voices as his aviation gin campaign suggests, why target an independent voice with legal threats? If Blake Lively cares about lifting women in media as she's publicly stated, why go after a female content creator with minimal resources? One major entertainment outlet published a feature titled "Subpoena or Silencer: How Blake and Ryan's Legal Moves Are Fracturing Their Fan Base." It featured interviews with lawyers, creators, and even industry insiders anonymously commenting on the PR backlash. One quote stood out: "You don't send a subpoena to someone with 1,000 followers unless you're trying to make a point." Unfortunately, that point just backfired, and the YouTuber, they kept responding with calm wit but never malice. Their content stayed respectful even when critical. They never accused Blake or Ryan personally of malicious intent. Instead, they asked why a legal team would go after someone for simply talking. In their third video, titled "How to Handle a Subpoena Without Crying Much," the creator detailed the real financial and emotional toll the process had taken: legal consultations, missed work, fear of being misrepresented. But even then, they ended the video with laughter. "Look, I'm not here to fight celebrities. I just talk about stuff that's already public. If that's illegal, now I'll start doing baking tutorials." The internet loved them for it. Content creators rallied together across platforms. A wave of solidarity emerged. Dozens of other creators, large and small, posted videos and live streams titled "In support of the creator who got subpoenaed. This could have been any of us." Blake Lively's team went too far. Some creators even began posting their own satirical responses to fake subpoenas, turning the whole ordeal into a trend. One popular TikTok showed a creator reading a cereal box dramatically while saying, "As per your request, Blake, here's my commentary on life's crunchiest secrets." It became clear this wasn't just a one-off story anymore, it was a full-blown movement. Fans coined hashtags like #subpoena saga, #Blake backfire, #DEADPOOL did what, #creator rights, #where'll the YouTuber merchandise started popping up with slogans like "Subpoena this," and "My lawyer watched that video too." Even more damaging for Blake and Ryan, respected media analysts began weighing in. One segment on a major pop culture podcast framed the situation this way: "What we're seeing here is the collision of two media worlds, old Hollywood and new media. And in this case, new media just won the narrative inside the PR war room." While the internet laughed and rallied, insiders claimed Blake's team went into damage control mode. According to reports shared by multiple entertainment gossip pages, there was an internal split between those who believed the subpoena was a routine legal action, and those who saw it as a massive strategic miscalculation. PR strategists reportedly warned Blake's camp that continuing legal pressure on content creators, especially ones going public, could spark a Streisand effect where attempts to silence or minimize content only amplify it tenfold, and that's exactly what happened. The original YouTuber's first video now had over 2.5 million views in less than a week. Their subscriber count had increased from 1,200 to nearly 180,000 overnight. They had been invited onto podcasts, morning shows, and were even offered legal assistance from multiple pro bono attorney networks. Suddenly, the story wasn't YouTuber dragged into lawsuit, it was YouTuber turned celebrity subpoena into career launch, and Hollywood noticed. As the viral wave intensified, observers assumed that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' legal teams would quietly withdraw the subpoena or release a clarifying statement, something calm and strategic, to cool public anger. But instead, things took an unexpected turn. The couple's legal representatives doubled down in a move that shocked even those closest to the entertainment industry. The firm representing Blake and Ryan issued a formal press release. The statement, framed in precise legal language, emphasized that the subpoenas were routine in nature, sent to individuals who may possess information relevant to ongoing legal proceedings, and insisted there was no attempt to stifle free speech or intimidate any member of the public. But that language, rather than calming things, ignited a second firestorm. First, viewers immediately began circulating clips and screenshots from the original subpoena, comparing the wording in the legal document to the wording in the press release. One prominent legal YouTuber broke it down line by line and concluded, "This wasn't just routine. This was broad, overreaching, and intimidating for anyone without legal counsel. They wanted everything: emails, videos, commentary, private messages, all for a single creator, with no direct ties to the case." Second, the public didn't buy the routine explanation. If it was routine, why not subpoena large media outlets or verified entertainment reporters? Why target a creator with fewer resources? One viral thread on X, formerly Twitter, posed a now iconic question: why is Blake Lively subpoenaing people with ring lights and unpaid Zoom accounts? If this is about truth, the backlash intensified. And so did the memes. Screenshots of Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool holding legal papers, captions of Blake's red carpet photos, edited with the phrase "subpoenaed you," and fake courtroom edits exploded across Instagram and TikTok. Every step the legal team took was met with a wave of public commentary, comedy, and call-outs. It was clear now the internet wasn't letting this go quietly. The YouTuber responds again amid the noise. The original YouTuber struck again, this time with their most viral video yet, titled "Deadpool Sent Me a Subpoena, Here's My Final Answer." In the opening scene, they sat at their desk, dramatically dressed in a DIY superhero cape made from a bedsheet, surrounded by printed out copies of the subpoena taped to the wall. Like a conspiracy theorist lair, the background music, a royalty-free version of something that sounded suspiciously like an action movie theme. What followed was a masterclass in clarity, humor, and defiance. They broke down the press release line by line, comparing it to their lived experience, and pointing out inconsistencies, all without a single hateful word or false claim. "I'm not here to destroy anyone," the YouTuber said. "I'm not here to wage war on celebrities. But I am here to remind the internet that you don't need a legal degree to spot when someone is trying to scare you into silence." The video quickly amassed 4 million views in 3 days. Comments poured in from creators, fans, and even some verified public figures, applauding the transparency. Then came the kicker. The creator revealed they had received pro bono legal support from a well-known First Amendment attorney, and that they had officially filed an objection to the subpoena, citing overbreadth and lack of necessity. It wasn't just a viral moment anymore, it was now a legal and cultural moment. Hollywood caught off guard. Behind the scenes, multiple media insiders reported growing discomfort within Blake and Ryan's inner circle. Sources close to the couple revealed that neither expected the fallout to become so intense, nor the internet to rally behind the YouTuber so decisively. Public relations experts chimed in, noting that the response to the press release had only inflamed the narrative. In PR, silence can be damaging, but so can misreading the room, said one veteran crisis manager in an interview with Variety. The team's response felt like it came from 2010, not 2025, where creators and their audiences expect transparency, not legal doublespeak. Meanwhile, the ongoing lawsuit against Justin Baldoni continued to simmer in the background. But many legal analysts noted that the broader case was now being overshadowed by the digital drama playing out between a celebrity couple and a content creator. And it wasn't just this one YouTuber anymore. Other creators who had also been subpoenaed, including mid-sized podcasters, and even one fashion vlogger, began to speak up. Some shared how intimidating the language in the documents had been. Others revealed they'd stayed quiet out of fear until they saw the viral creator stand up with grace and guts. One particularly powerful moment came from a podcast host who said live on air. If someone with 100 subscribers can get hit with legal paperwork from multi-million-dollar celebrities just for having an opinion, what does that say about where we're headed? Receipts, reactions, and red lines. The internet loves evidence, and soon receipts began surfacing. Clips were unearthed from earlier interviews where Blake had emphasized the importance of empowering women to speak truthfully, no matter how uncomfortable that truth might be. These clips were played side by side with screenshots of the subpoena sent to the YouTuber, a woman doing exactly that. Fans posted the juxtaposition everywhere under Instagram posts, in comment sections across Reddit threads. The phrase "practice what you post" began trending in response. In another surprising twist, Ryan Reynolds' old tweets supporting creator freedom and parody rights, especially during his promotion of Deadpool, also resurfaced. In one 2018 tweet, he had written creators should be able to roast, remix and react, that's the culture. Now that same tweet was being reposted thousands of times with captions like "unless they roast you." Was this before or after the subpoena? So much for the freedom to react. Creators are media now. As the saga continued to unfold, one thing became undeniably clear. The old boundaries between press commentary and creators had blurred, and Blake and Ryan's legal team had underestimated just how powerful even a small creator can be in today's media ecosystem. The idea that only serious journalists should be allowed to comment on high-profile cases fell apart as creators produced more thoughtful, evidence-based breakdowns of the subpoena drama than some major networks. People weren't just watching videos, they were learning, understanding their rights, questioning celebrity narratives, digging deeper into what it means to control a story in the digital age. And through it all, the YouTuber at the center of it remained composed, funny, and grounded. No personal attacks, no false claims, just commentary, wit, and a refusal to be intimidated. In the end, what started as a seemingly one-sided legal maneuver by two of Hollywood's most beloved stars turned into a viral cultural moment, one that reshaped how creators are viewed in the media landscape and revealed just how fragile even the most polished celebrity reputations can be in the age of public accountability and digital transparency. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds likely never expected that sending a subpoena to a small YouTuber would spiral into such a massive PR disaster. On paper, it may have seemed like a calculated routine legal step, a way to gather evidence or protect their interests in a contentious legal battle. But what they underestimated was the sheer power of authenticity of internet culture and of audiences who are increasingly suspicious of manufactured silence. This YouTuber, armed with nothing more than their camera, their voice, and a sharp sense of humor, managed to turn what could have been a terrifying, isolating moment into a movement not only for themselves but for content creators everywhere. Their refusal to be intimidated by a high-profile legal team, their measured tone, and their transparency won the respect of millions, from casual viewers to journalists to free speech advocates. It wasn't just the comedy or the clever videos that resonated. It was the message: I have the right to talk about public figures and public information. I have the right to critique, question, and laugh, and I shouldn't need a legal team to do that. The digital world rallied behind this creator, not out of blind allegiance, but out of shared experience. Every person who ever uploaded a commentary video, posted a meme, or voiced a dissenting opinion online saw themselves in that subpoena. And that's what made the backlash against Blake and Ryan so potent. Because it wasn't about celebrity anymore, it was about power and who's allowed to speak without fear. Throughout the saga, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds maintained public silence beyond the carefully worded press release. But silence in the digital age is rarely interpreted as neutrality. Too many, it came across as an attempt to wait out the backlash, to let time dull the internet's fury. But the internet, unpredictable as ever, didn't let it go. Mainstream outlets began treating the story with seriousness. Headlines shifted from entertainment gossip to cultural commentary. The Atlantic published a piece titled "When Creators Are Targets: What the Subpoena Saga Says About Free Speech Online." The New York Times questioned the ethics of celebrity legal intimidation in an opinion column that quoted the YouTuber directly. What had once been a personal anecdote on a small channel had now transformed into a national conversation about digital rights, fair use, and legal boundaries. Other creators followed suit, organizing panels discussing legal protections for independent voices and exploring how to create coalitions or crowdfunding legal defense resources for small content creators who get caught in similar legal situations. The subpoena, that was intended to extract information or assert dominance ended up inspiring a new wave of unity, purpose, and action among the very people it aimed to silence. And what about the YouTuber? They didn't seek fame, but it found them. Their subscriber count soared. Their videos became case studies in university media courses. They received offers to speak at digital creator summits and internet rights conferences. Book deals were hinted at, merch was sold, but through it all the creators stayed grounded. They never gloated, they never attacked. They simply kept doing what they'd always done, speaking with honesty, insight, and a bit of humor. Their motto remained the same: commentary isn't a crime. On the flip side, Blake and Ryan's reputations have undeniably taken a hit, not in total but in the eyes of a certain digital-savvy demographic that once admired their wit and candor. They're no longer seen as the effortlessly relatable couple they worked hard to present. Instead, they've become for some symbols of old media power clashing with new media resistance. Will they recover? Almost certainly. Hollywood is forgiving and public memory is short when it comes to celebrity drama. But the image of them as champions of free expression and internet culture may never quite return to its former glow. In the space of a few videos, a few court documents, and a few million views, their position shifted from playful icons to perceived suppressors of speech, and that shift matters because it reveals something profound about the media ecosystem we live in today. Audiences no longer want curated perfection, they want truth. They want creators who aren't afraid to speak up, and they will defend those creators when power comes knocking. This saga will likely be remembered not just as a quirky moment in celebrity legal history, but as a defining example of how narrative power has shifted. The internet isn't just watching anymore, it's participating, reacting, and holding even the most powerful to account. So whether you're a small creator uploading videos from your bedroom or a major celebrity with a team of advisors and publicists, the lesson here is the same in 2025: authenticity wins. Transparency matters. And underestimating the digital community might be the biggest mistake you could make. Because as Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds just learned, sometimes the smallest voices make the loudest noise, and when that noise is truthful, funny, and backed by millions, even Hollywood has to listen.